Don't save her, because she don't want to be saved. Y'all, I don't think y'all realize how hard it is to make content. Like, I've done deleted like 5 different videos that I've started because they're not the one that I want to tell. If you guys remember from the last story, somehow I mentioned how when I started hanging out with my clique of friends, when we all fell out or whatever, and we stopped hanging with each other. Well, I fell out with them, excuse me. I don't think they're friends anymore either, but when I fell out with them and I started hanging with them and how I met Chase, right? So we're going to go ahead on and delve into how I met Chase and what his history is and what came about with him and our adventures. I had first moved to Mississippi, I want to say around like 2011. I had, peeped this guy that was, outside. He was a cute little Hispanic dude, kind of heavy set, about my height. And, I just was like, oh, he's cute, I want to talk to him. I was like 11 or 12, probably 13. This is around like my 7th grade year, because I didn't take any classes with Chase my 6th grade year, but I took classes with him my 7th grade year. And he was in my third period, I think it was either third or fourth period, Eastern Hemisphere class. And he was in my, I want to say my 5th period math class. My first time speaking to him was when we were outside and I had seen him, and he walked over to me and we kind of like spoke or whatever. He introduced himself as Chase, and I introduced myself as Demarius, like, hey, my name's Demarius, blah, 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 whatever, da, 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 da. Now, with that part being said, time goes on, time goes on, time goes on. So at this point in time, we would kind of like hang out here and there. And then, like, I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden, it's just like we start becoming real, like, touchy feely with one another. We would be outside playing, then, like, I'd grab his butt or something like that. Then he would grab mine, or I would put my hands in his pants and start touching his, his friend in the front, and he started touching my friend in the front, too. Like, it was just a lot of touchy feely stuff going on, and I didn't understand why. And at this time, I shared a room with my little sister, right? Me and Chase, we were very much so like infatuated with one another. And he would come over every now and again to like come over there and play with dolls, or he would come over there to like do math work, or he would come over there to do homework, or he would come over there to like study for tests and things like that, right? One time he came over there, and I was laying under the bed halfway, he was laying under the bed halfway too, but he had like his lower torso, like we laid on his stomach up under the bed, and I was like facing like upside down, like under the bed. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I'm laying like my feet. Okay, this is under the bed, right? So his butt is facing this way, and his head's facing that way, and I'm facing like this way too. My legs right here, and I'm facing this way on my back. So I'm reaching down, I'm touching his booty and whatnot, girl. Like, I start fiddling around, touching on stuff, and he started like playing with my friend or whatever, like jacking me off and whatnot. So, girl, like, we had kind of like kissed or whatever, and that wasn't my first time kissing a guy, because I kissed the guy for the first time in 1st grade, and I got him suspended. Oh my goodness, y'all. During classes, we would have transition periods to where like we could go out and go to the bathroom, drink some water, fraternize with our friends, and then come on back to the main classroom and finish the rest of the period if it was a block class. But if it was a single class, you didn't have that. I had seen Chase in the hallway, and I walked up to see him, and he was like, what? And I was like, oh, I was just gonna say, hey, what you want? And I was asking him, like, hey, you want to come over and study for this test or whatever we're gonna be having in Miss Bird's class. That was my math teacher's name. And he was like, yeah. I was like, okay. So now I walked away from him, and then he tried to trip me. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. That dude used to like borderline bully me at school, but let me bully him in the bed and in the sheets. So he comes over to the house, he's chilling at the house or whatever. My mama let him in, and then he goes straight back there to my room. Of course, he said hated him or whatever, and he goes straight back there to the room that I'm in, that I share with my little sister. And he brought his math book over there too. So he put his math book down, and I'm sitting down on the floor, like we're both sitting down on the floor. He got his math book down, and I have my math book down. So we're sitting there, we're acting like we're studying and things like that. Mind you, my little sister and my mama, and I think my second oldest sister, all 3 of them are in the living room up there at the front of the house. Like, the way the house is made is as soon as you walk in, the living room is right here, the kitchen is right here. And then if you keep straight down the hallway, you'll have to your left the laundry, just another part to go into the kitchen, but then you'll have your laundry section with the washer, and then outside in the shed part is the dryer. But you know, that's just not important. And then if you keep straight all the way down, you would have me and my sister's room, my mama's room, and then across the way from my mama's room would be my two older sisters' room, and then it would be the bathroom. So he would walk back there, and then he would just come into the room that me and my sister shared. Now, like I said, we're sitting on the floor, we're chilling, whatever the case may be. And then I don't know what happened because it's kind of like foggy, but all I know is we started touching on each other, right? So we're touching on each other, and then he started like giving me a fellatio. When I tell you that was the absolute worst thing I've ever felt in my life, it was nothing but teeth. So then he pulls out this condom, right? I'm like, I didn't know what that was. I'm like, what is this? This is those little old, flimsy, non-reliable, cheap lifestyle gas station condoms, girl. Them condoms don't hold no weight. They don't hold no pressure. Baby, they can barely hold a penis. And you want me to use that? Me being young, I never really practiced safe sex. But what I did was I had the stuffed animal, the stuffed bear. Well, I didn't have it. It was my sister's. And I like cut a little hole up in this little tail so it could have like a little booty circle. And I used to put the shit out of that bear. I already knew like how to kind of, have sex. But again, like I said, I didn't really know how to have sex. He puts the condom on my friend and he lays on his stomach. Now, mind you, y'all, we are doing this with the door wide open. Like, the door is not closed at all. The door was never closed. My sister's room door is open. My mom and my other two sisters are in the dining room, up in the living room watching TV. And I'm just like, I will never understand how we did not get caught doing anything in that house because the door was wide open. I'm like trying to find out where his little friend is or whatever. Like, I'm trying to search for it. Y'all look at Rocket just over here sleeping. Don't mind him. He just balling up and stuff. So I get myself to where like I'm trying to position it and put it in where I need to put it in at. So I finally find where his cylinder is. We just gonna use code words because I don't want to get like in trouble or whatever. I took like my spit and I kind of like put my thumb inside of his, and then like, I was like, okay, so I stuck it in there. Then I stuck my finger up, like this finger up in there. Then I stuck my middle finger up in there, started fingering him or whatever. I started rubbing my friend up against his, his circle, his butt circle. So I'm rolling my breadstick up against his butt circle. And as I'm doing that, like, I'm getting harder and harder and harder. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. I take it and I angle it to where his little circle is. This is his circle, right? We use a remote. So this is circle, and this is my friend, right? Obviously, it's black, duh. So, girl, I angle it to where it wasn't this big, but y'all get the picture. So I angle it right here, and I stick it in, and it's slowly going in, slowly going in, slowly going in, slowly going in. Then I stop. And I took it back out, right? So then when I took it back out, I got some lotion because we used to use this lotion. I don't know if I don't know if it's still available, but it was like this lotion, like this aloe vera lotion. Like, I'm remembering it right now. It's like in a big little, like, I want to say like a pyramid, not pyramid shaped bottle, but it was like a trapezoid shaped bottle. And it had like a picture of an aloe vera on it. It was like aloe vera lotion, but I forgot what it was called, of the company that it was by, but it's real old, girl. And that's what we were using for lubricant for when, like, I wanted to, like, stick it up in there. But a lot of times it didn't really happen. So, it wasn't really, like, anything, exciting. So, I get the lotion and I put some, like, on his booty hole, like, directly on his booty hole. And then, like, I put some on my friend. And then, like, I'm, like, rubbing it in. And then I'm sticking my friend back inside him, right? So it's sliding on in, it's sliding on in, it's sliding on in. So it's finally in. And I do 1, 2. I'm like, girl, you started I was like, bitch, look at you, you're growing up. Oh my God, like, this your first time giving somebody some wee. Aren't you excited? So I'm like, 1, 2. I'm like, okay. 3, 4, okay. And then all of a sudden I feel a snap. I was like, what is that? So then, girl, I took myself out of him or whatever, right? And then I had looked down and I had seen that the condom had broke. So I had asked him, do you have another condom? He was like, no. I was like, okay, well, you just got to do it like this. So I took my condom off And then I put some lotion on my friend again, put some more lotion on his butt circle, and then I stuck it right there and I slid it on in. And girl, it went in with ease that time. I was like, okay, girl, you done broke it open. So, girl, I'm sitting there. Mind you, I'm not moving. I'm just laying there. And as I'm just laying there, all of a sudden, this man yell out, I can't take it. And then he starts farting. I'm like, what is going on? Like, what is all of this? So, girl, he's just like, y'all know them nasty, wet farts. Like, that's what it was. Like I said before, we were kids. We were very much so inexperienced. We didn't know what douching was. We didn't know what to do to prepare for things like that. So, we kind of just went off on a whim. And I guess it was a lot of just hoping and praying. And apparently, I don't think I did enough hoping and praying. I take myself up out of him, like I lift myself up to come up out of him. Y'all, I look down. It is shit on my dick. This is how I look in the pornos. I'm very much so taken aback. I'm like, girl, it stank. He turned around to look, and then he sees it, and he's looking at me like, ugh, you nasty, you farted, you stank. And I'm looking at him inaudible. Like, I'm not saying anything. I'm just like, so then he was like, can I get a towel? I was like, yes. So I went in the bathroom and I got a towel and I literally scrubbed my friend until he was red. I took like this, it was this cinnamon facial scrub that one of my sisters used to have. Girl, I took that down there and I was scrubbing. Girl, I'm getting on the sides. It was also some inside of my pee hole. It was also some inside of my pee hole, y'all. I was so embarrassed, but I didn't make him feel embarrassed, but I was embarrassed. I was like, oh my God, this has to be so humiliating. But who's gonna see it? Who's gonna know? Except for me and him, right? So, girl, after that, I'm in there. I scrub again. I'm scrubbing like 5-10 times with some extra hot water. Finally got all that poop off of me or whatever the case may be. So then that's when I had came in there with a little soapy towel, handed it to Chase, and Chase, he used it and wiped his little booty off and whatnot, and wiped everything else off and got himself together. And then he threw the towel, and y'all, that towel hit me right here. I could have had a connection right there. If God would have came back that day, I would not be here today. That was the deal breaker. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. I would have been dead that day in that very spot, stuck in that house. There is no saving me. Don't save her, because she don't want to be saved. When he did that, and he started laughing, and I kid y'all not, I looked at him, and I looked down, and I just stared at the towel, and then I picked it up with my hands like this, and I just walked to the bathroom, because I really wanted to just, if I knew how to fight at that time, y'all, that man would have been all up and down and around that house. You're trying to be funny and it's not cute. Like I said, he used to try and bully me and stuff like that, so I kind of just laughed it off, but in my head, y'all, I was going through it. The next day, he started acting real funny towards me. Like, he would be like, taking my binder and throwing it down the stairs, taking my binder and throwing all the stuff out of it, and trying to push me down the stairs. No, he did push me down the stairs one time, tripping me, all that stuff. Like, he would be outside, you know, starting mess, being messy. Y'all ended up fighting him. Oh my goodness, y'all. I just wanted y'all to see what type of character he was before I start telling other stories. So now that y'all know what type of character he was, that's pretty much all I have to say for this video. So if you guys like this short little story time about how I lost my virginity and the introduction to, and if y'all like this short little story time and how I lost my virginity for the first time, topic for the first time, please make sure you give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. Please make sure you like and subscribe to my channel for videos like this one, and I promise you guys I'll be back with another one. Bye.